Not legally authorized to stop cars entering our village in the dead of night? No problem. Edit. Because apparently this isn't as blatantly obvious as I thought it would be. This does not take place in or anywhere near the United States of America. Not entirely sure how malicious this is, but it is an intentional circumvention of the rules as written. Due to recent regional geopolitical instability, the people of my village have decided to set up a guard post on the main road entrance to the village, to be manned at night by volunteering residents with whatever licensed personal arms they have. We've gathered together some equipment, including helmets, soft body armor, plastic road barriers with hazard lights, radios linking us to neighboring villages and the regional municipality's emergency frequency, orange rotation vehicle rooftop lights, and vests with light reflectors. Enough to put together a pretty official-looking checkpoint. For the first 6 odd weeks we've had no problem with the checkpoint. People were very understanding about being stopped. The occasional rural police patrol were happy we were making their jobs easier. Instances of thefts and burglaries were significantly cut, and many volunteers had stories of either turning away suspicious vehicles in the odd hours of the night, or even unfamiliar vehicles turning off the highway towards the village, seeing the checkpoint and turning back the way they came. All in all, even though the original concern about a worsethan criminal threat failed to materialize and people were giving up much-needed sleep to man the checkpoint, the volunteer checkpoint was having a markedly positive effect on crime rate and everybody's safety. That was until we received a clarification from the police that specified that we had no legal authority to compel anyone to stop or to obstruct the road. The notice did not come with a threat of legal repercussions, and we all got the sense that it was issued as a, "We like what you're doing but aren't allowed to support it." But it still caused a bit of a dilemma on how to go from that point forwards. If anyone complained to the police about being stopped and questioned by armed civilians blocking the road, we certainly could no longer claim ignorance as a legal defense. So we decided to abide by the absolute letter of the law. The following night, we got our gear, set up our vehicles and barricades at the sides of the road, turned on all the hazard and rotating lights for safety. Of course, it is important to be visible at night to prevent accidents, and simply shone our flashlights and waved at any approaching vehicles from about 2 centimeters outside the line designating the edge of the road, when said vehicles stopped purely voluntarily as a response to our friendly waves. From our point of view, we would engage them in a neighborly chat, asking how their night was going, if there's anything we could help with, that sort of thing, and then bid them a good night. Just being friendly at 3 a.m. You know? We've been sticking to this SOP until the legal situation can catch up to the situation on the ground. And while the occasional rural police patrols no longer stop to chat when they pass our not a checkpoint, they do wave from inside their vehicles and don't tell us to just go home. We've been sticking to this SOP until the legal situation can catch up to the situation on the ground. This is quite a euphemism. You should put up a big sign with, "Not a checkpoint." You may want to check the rules for construction sites and safety. It would be a shame for someone to damage their car hitting a pothole in the road that only has a single orange cone to mark its location. You would need to stop and warn motorists approaching. With regional geopolitical instability, you mean living in, nearby a war zone? It has to get very serious to take up arms yourself like that. Good luck with your situation. Stay safe, bud. I'm sincerely curious about your threat model. I'm not surprised that you are able to prevent petty crime, etc. But that wasn't the original point. If someone was planning on shooting up or blowing up your town, your roadblock would only delay them for a few seconds, right? Since they would determine that you are an obstacle well before you are able to confirm they are a threat. Unless you have one volunteer who is out of sight and can radio into town and sound the alarm while the rest of you buy him a few seconds? I guess that makes some sense. Or, depending on the distance, the sound of gunfire might be enough to alert the villagers to the coming threat. The definition of malicious compliance. And telling your story so excellently. Very well done. Especially how you can follow the letter of the law while others around you can't. Best of luck to you and your village. The moment he talked about skirting the letter of the law just confirms where he is in the world. And which side of the conflict. Haha, this is great. Glad to see you all are staying safe. Am Yisrael Kai. What country are you in? Here. Thankfully, it is illegal to block traffic without authorization. Fuck IDF and IDF cosplayers as well. I'm not sure what to make of this. If you're living in or near a war zone, Ukraine for example, then sure, this make perfect sense and is a reasonable thing to do. If you're living in suburban America and are scared of black people, it's much less reasonable. I feel like more context is needed. This is real interesting, pal. I'm probably going to be modded down into oblivion. But, wow, that was creepy. Please tell me that you're living in an odd type of dysfunctional third world failed state. And not playing Vagante in a first world country. Being just a bad night after a boring week away from a lynch mob. I know a group of people that if they tried the same thing you did, they would be blown up by a bomb from a fighter jet or tank. But hey, they are of a lower class who don't count as much. Standing around while armed and waving people down is by no means innocent. How crime-ridden was your village before if your checkpoint could have such an impact? Reads like someone excited to cosplay the Old West. It's not malicious compliance to run a gang rolling on the floor laughing, it's just an admission you're not smart enough to. No, it's not a voluntary stop or a neighborly chat when someone is shining a flashlight in your face and waving you down while wearing body armor and armed to the teeth. You think it'll be a legal defense. And I guess in fairness, since you're not required to treat those people like they're, people. Still trash though, no question about it. What kind of power-tripping LARP is this? Do you guys really have nothing better to do than cosplay and harass drivers rolling on the floor laughing? Just knowing that a camera captures the license plate of the vehicle, the make, model, color of the vehicle, and the face of the driver is captured on a camera is enough to encourage opportunistic troublemakers to scout out a different neighborhood. Who knows, but to my mind this is a bunch of Karens keeping out browns and poors.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.